Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installment of the APB recap. This is a recap of most of the hooplas from my last stream, so let's just get straight to our first hoopla. Last week, there was a huge hoopla involving deepfakes. It's both hilarious and depressing. It all started with a streamer named Atriok who was caught in 4K watching deepfakes of other famous streamers. At one point of the stream, he pressed Alt-Tab, and one single frame showed that he was browsing deepfake porn of his friends or their significant others, who are also popular streamers. Out of morbid curiosity, he clicked on some ads and actually paid for the whole thing. Not just clicked, but paid for the whole thing. And that's where we get a video of him crying his ass off while his wife, that's right, wife, on the background, also crying. Now the thing is, getting caught watching deepfake porn isn't really something to be worth crying about. There is definitely a certain appeal of seeing people that you're normally familiar with in not safe for work situations. But getting caught watching deepfake porn of your friends is something else. That is pretty embarrassing, especially when your significant other knows those friends, and those friends are very popular streamers, and some of whom are significant others of even more popular streamers. Technology has progressed us so far to the point where we're able to create fake stuff and pose them as real using AI. But if you ask me, y'all don't need to worry about it. Yes, people can make stuff that are indistinguishably fake, but at the same time, people can also make stuff that detect how fake it is. Seriously, look up photo forensics. Photo forensics is nuts. It's an entire subdivision of criminal forensics dedicated to check on authenticity of an image and see whether or not those images are photoshopped. Because of that, you cannot use photoshopped images or deepfakes as evidence in court, as the opponents will use whatever tools they can to prove that those are fake. And those tools already exist. The deepfake technology will continue to progress as time goes on, just like any other forms of technology. But thankfully, just as AI faking technology keeps on progressing, so are AI detection technology. In fact, a lot of times the AI faking technology uses the same data sets as the AI detection technology. That's why you cannot use ChatGPT, an AI text generator, to write your essay. The plagiarism check will immediately find out that you plagiarized because that's what ChatGPT does. ChatGPT uses the internet as training data the same way that plagiarism checker uses the internet as training data, except they use them for different things. So while the progression of deepfakes are indeed pretty scary as time goes on, most people already recognize its existence and will do whatever it takes to make sure that people can distinguish what's real and what's fake. And that is our first hoopla of today. Now, if you want to see more and more hooplas and also join in our Q&A sessions where you can ask all the questions you like, then please check out the stream channel, link down below, go subscribe. You'll find the hooplas that I discuss here and a lot more. And we also swear a lot. Plus, the donations are credited in near real time, so what are you waiting for? Go subscribe. Oh, and also another thing, I want to say huge thanks to Android and Fluffy1 for the fan arts of the last 2 weeks, and also huge thanks for Lazzy L for this week's fan art. They all look lovely, guys. You guys are fantastic. If you want to see your fan arts featured on the videos, send them through the email or Twitter, links down below. Alright, now let's get into our next hoopla. This is probably one of the most hilarious naming schemes I've ever seen, and I have no idea why people think that this is a good idea. So a couple of football players from the Premier League are being put in a football blacklist. Jeez, what happened? Did they do something really bad? Why are they blacklisted from the Premier League? What are the soccer fans gonna do? Yes, I use football and soccer interchangeably. So what did they do? Nothing really. They just so happen to be black. No, really. That's it. All of these players that are put in the blacklist, they just so happen to be black. So they're all being put in the blacklist, even though the word blacklist still has a negative connotation. I genuinely have no idea what these people are doing. It's like they only live in their own little bubble. So maybe we can hear it from the co-founder themselves and see what they're up to. We are delighted to be sharing another incredible and inspirational football blacklist. Black excellence shines so brightly in the game, and this list underlines that. Is it possible for you to use a better phrase than that? How can something that's black be shining bright? How can you be proud of putting players in a freaking blacklist? Are you mad?
Are you mad?
Here's a really funny trend on TikTok that I glimpsed briefly from Twitter. Just left another credit union with a $50,000 approval on an LLC I just opened 45 days ago. I do this twice a week now. So let me get this straight. You open a fake company so that you can convince a bank to give you $50,000 loan for your business. And you do that twice a week. You do realize that you have to, pay the money back, right? When you realize you can legally make your own check stubs by starting an LLC and running payroll through a payroll provider. Yes, you can. But that's like saying it's legal to have a credit card. Just because it's legal doesn't mean you should use it irresponsibly. They can pay you by processing your personal or business credit card in order to pay you via direct deposit, so you can get a car, apartment, or personal loans. Why not just, use your credit card? I mean, you're basically routing the money from the credit card to the payroll provider to the fake LLC and then to yourself. You don't actually get paid. You just took money from your credit card and gave it to yourself. You still need to pay your debt. You moron! What they don't want you to know. Set up 3 anonymous LLCs. Register your company in Delaware or Wyoming for maximum tax benefits. You can use consumer law to clean your credit from 4 to 14 days. To start the new year, you can fund both LLCs with the $50,000 no docs loan option. You go to Bank of America and acquire 4 auto loans with 1 inquiry. You rent out the 4 cars and now make 5 figures a month. No, you don't. No, you don't. You moron!
What are you, a moron?
When you set up those LLCs and you fund the LLCs through the bank, you are borrowing money from the bank to fund your business. It's called a loan. It's right there. The bank demands your business to make money so that you can return what you owe to them with interest. In other words, you gotta pay them back, or you're gonna be in jail for fraud. I genuinely believe these posts are made by bankers to trick people into being in debt, or the feds to trick people who thinks that bank fraud is a good idea. And technically, this isn't even a fraud. It's completely legal. Borrowing money from the bank is not illegal. In fact, that's how they make profit. Fraudulent misrepresentation, on the other hand.
Wait, that's illegal.
In another news of Elon Musk's peaceful Twitter regime, Elon is apparently going to paywall the bots. That's right, all of the bot Twitter accounts that roam around to make all sorts of amazing posts, including the good ones, are gonna have to pay loads of money to use the Twitter bot features. The reason why Elon does this is because he wants to get rid of scammers and bots that are negative and malicious. Whether or not this will help Twitter is beyond me, but I do know for a fact that they removed the Twitter DM button on the mobile version. That's how me and my girlfriend met 3 years ago, and you just ditched that to oblivion. Elon's Twitter has been doing great lately, don't you think? Thankfully, the DM button is back now, so there's that. I have no idea why you decide to just ditch it out for a couple moments there, Elon. Seriously. Violent language is apparently something that we have to be aware of. Instead of saying something like, "I'll bite the bullet," you maybe should say something like, "I won't avoid it any longer." Wait, what? No, seriously, this person over here has a list of violent languages that we should replace with peaceful ones. I want you to take a read because a lot of these options are just... they're just really freaking boring. The reason why people use these violent expressions, it's because they're impactful. They have a punch, if you will. Beating a dead horse sounds a lot more impactful than, "Let's not focus on that anymore." Where's the punch? Where's the emotion? I mean, what gets you so bothered by these expressions that even they had to be changed to something else less offensive, i.e. censored? Sorry, but most people are gonna use the expression on the left and they're gonna keep using it because it's an expression. It's not that violent at all. The only violence you will feel is towards your feelings. I talked about Zoomers and their lack of knowledge on using the computers multiple times throughout this channel. For the record, I don't hate Zoomers at all. I think they're really cool and fantastic. I actually relate to them a lot more than the people of my age. I do, however, need to point out a trend that I noticed about them. Their lack of technological prowess is definitely one of them, and, well, at least according to the user, we also got this. The amount of conservativeness, puritanism, and just straight up unfocused anger towards sex and queer people outside the worldview I see in Gen Z is extremely disturbing. Well, they're Zoomers. They're really young people. They're supposed to be hesitant talking about all of those things. Those are mostly adult topics that I don't think Zoomers are going to be able to understand, or at least in middle school and below. And high school, talking about them is fine, in my opinion. I think the topic should be at least discussed eventually, but at middle school, questionable. Wouldn't do that. It's obviously not a complete blanket statement, but I constantly find myself saying 20-year-old moment when I often see a take like, I did consent seeing a BDSM harness in public. Keep your freak shit in a bedroom. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes.
I mean, well, duh. I don't know what to expect people to say. Most people, not just Zoomers, don't want to see those stuff in public. I certainly don't. I mean, even if I have the fetish, I don't want to see that in public. You're disturbing people. You're making people uncomfortable. No one wants to see people in BDSM gears in public. Are you out of your mind?
Are you mad?
Also want to clarify that this isn't me saying young people yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it absolutely is. Sorry, do go on. Young people are always gonna have a skewed, inexperienced view of the world and have opinions based off of political grooming and online shit. Oh no! How dare we teach our children that wearing BDSM gears in public is not acceptable? How dare we groom them into believing that?
Where the fuck are your parents? Who are your parents?
I love my microphones. I talk about them quite a bit, and by bit, I mean an entire video. I'm gonna talk about them again because apparently there's some serious microphone snobbery, and I just so happen to be a little bit of a snob in that department, so let's get to it. If you are buying a microphone and starting out with making content, please stop buying USB microphones, period, especially Yetis. Okay, there's a lot of disclaimers that need to be put in that statement. If you're starting out with making content, USB microphone is perfectly fine. I started off with using my phone as a microphone, and then I eventually got the Samsung Go. Still a great microphone, by the way. Not only it's perfectly fine, it can even last you forever. At the end of the day, they're there to pick up your voice. I think most people won't be able to tell the difference between a $50 USB microphone like the Razer Siren Mini, which I also recommend, and a $4,000 microphone like the Neumann U87 AI. Yes, some of you audiophiles can tell the difference, but most people are not audiophiles. As for the Yeti, that depends, because there are Yetis that have dropped so much that you can just probably get them at around $100, and I think they're worth it in that price. But even so, I think most people should go for the Yeti Nano, which is generally much cheaper than a normal Yeti, and I do recommend that. Go for the original Yeti only if you want to record ASMR on the cheap, because the Yeti has 4 polar patterns that can record from all directions, and that's great for ASMR. The reason why the Yeti gets so much hate is because most people buy them and use them incorrectly when there are loads and loads of other USB microphones that will serve them better, like the Samsung Q2U. This is my Samsung Q2U. Look at it. It's been worn and torn, but it's still a very good microphone. You can use mini USB or you can use XLR. Great mic. Highly recommend. So I do get the sentiment, but to carpet bomb all USB microphones as trash is not something I would do, especially when we read the thread even more. The OP then recommends the Shure MV7. No! Hell no! Do not get the Shure MV7. That is pretty much just a USB version of the Shure SM7B. I do not recommend that at all, especially for beginners. And actually, I don't recommend that for intermediates and even professionals. I don't recommend USB microphones that go above $200. If you got that amount of budget, might as well get an XLR microphone like the Shure SM57 that I'm holding right here. This can be used for voice, it can be used for music, primarily used for music, but it also works for voice. And also the Shure SM58, they're both $100 each. Great microphones, and you can also get an audio interface for less than $100, like the Behringer one right here. Highly recommend. You get loads of deals on these. And speaking of audio interface, Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 is an admittedly great interface, but like the Yeti, most people buy that out of popularity and not out of function. I don't recommend that for beginners who are on a budget. The audio interface I'm using right now is the Behringer UMC 202HD, which is much cheaper than the Scarlett 2i2, and it does the job of hooking up my Shure SM58. Not to mention, I also have the Behringer UMC 22, an amazing budget interface that I highly recommend, especially when paired with dynamic microphones like this. My brother uses the M-Audio M-Track Solo as an audio interface for his mic and guitar. Also, a great budget interface that I highly recommend. I'm just saying, if you are gonna make tips and suggestions to people, at least know what you're talking about. And unfortunately, a lot of the products that you recommend here, I cannot recommend to beginners. Here's another good example. Rode NT1, absolutely fantastic vocals and voiceover microphone if you have the budget. That microphone is around $250 or $300, not a friendly price for beginners. Instead, get the Audio Technica AT2020, tried and true, only around $100. Great microphone, recommend. And if you are really tight on budget, and I mean really tight, I'd even go so far as to say you might as well just get the BM800 microphones like these. Or if you don't want to get any of those, you can also get the Samson Meteor, which is also one of the mics that I've used in the past. And also you can use the Fifine, just pretty much any of the Fifine microphones. These are great. Seriously, there are so many options here that are absolutely nuts. Really great, worth the price, under $100. Amazing. If you are a beginner, there's nothing wrong with just staying with a USB microphone. Personally, I like to experiment and try out new things. That's why I changed microphones and changed settings a lot. And my curiosity got me to try out the famed Shure SM58. And I loved it. Though technically speaking, this is the real Shure SM58 with the fake Shure SM58 grill. I bought the Shure SM58 that is fake because these microphones, they got faked a lot. There are loads and loads of fakes of Shure SM58. But the reason why I bought the fake one is because I want to take the grill. Because I actually, at one point in one stream, I forgot which stream it is, but I just smashed the microphone and dented the grill. Just like that. I smashed the microphone and dented the grill. Because I genuinely thought that, well, the Shure SM58 is very well known on being a very resistant microphone. And apparently the dented grill is an intentional thing. So, I don't like the dented grill aesthetic, so I bought the fake one and replaced the grill. The real grill with the fake grill. It won't be as resistant, but at least it doesn't look like it's got dented. There are things that people do that came from fiction in real life because they think that it's neat. But the thing is, just because it's a neat concept in fiction doesn't mean that it's a neat concept in real life. It's especially true when the concept in fiction itself is not neat at all. It's actually pretty monstrous. Netflix's Squid Game's reality show contestant said that it's rigged. It was the cruelest, meanest thing I've ever been through. We were a human horse race and they were treating us like horses out in the cold racing and the race was fixed. Allergies towards stupidity. Yeah, that's what Squid Game is. The contestants of the in real life reality show apparently collapsed on set and the conditions were absolutely inhumane. Allegedly, medics even called 11 times when they filmed the whole show in the UK. Really not a good place to film the whole thing. I mean, I honestly don't know what you expect. Have you seen the show? The show is good. Go watch the show. But have you guys seen it? And that's all for the recap today, guys. This recap wouldn't have been possible without the help of all of you guys. Thank you guys so much. You guys are fantastic. If you want to see your names among these awesome people, then please check out the links down below and donate just $1 anywhere you like. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.